And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your friend Sheebludes. Happy Monday, I guess. Yeah, shout out to everyone going back to work and stuff. That sucks, dude. Abolish work. 100% the market is weird right now. Like, I wouldn't say it's crashed. I would say it's in some weird type of I don't know, some weird type of purgatory where it hasn't really crashed, but it hasn't really shot up either, except for a couple cards where I'll cover those. I think you know what cards have shot up a little bit, but we didn't really get much today. In my team, we just got the Mel Daniels takeover, which, like, whatever. Easy enough stuff to do. If you got Roy Hibbert, you'll be able to clear these real fast. Mel Daniels, they kind of hoed, though. Like, I've heard conflicting reports on if he's been updated. Some people have said he's been updated. Some people said he's the same. You'll be able to figure it out pretty quick, because if you go to shoot a jump shot with him, default big is a horrible release. Like, if his release sucks, like, yeah, he hasn't been updated for sure. Joel Embiid dribble style, which is still just so funny that that's a dribble style in the game regardless, but, like, he's not very good. They took his wingspan down from the classic 7'11" in 2K21 to a 7'1" wingspan. Disappointing. The card itself is fine. It's just that he has the worst dribble sigs and the worst release in the game. One of the worst releases in the game. I think Brook Lopez base might actually be worse, but it's close. They should have just gave him Bismack Biyombo's release. Like, I was straight cashing in the tournament with Derek Coleman. That release is nice. He's okay. I mean, if you're going for Yee, you're going to get him anyways. You're going to make your team? Not necessarily, but whatever. The Eclipse packs have... I don't want to say they crashed the market, but they've done something to the market. Everyone has, like, leveraged their entire collection, all their MT, all their VC, at either the chance to pull Yao Ming or straight up picking up Yao Ming. So it's caused a lot of cards to be a lot cheaper. So we'll kind of go through some guys that have seen a noticeable hit in value. You can find some badged up Luol Dengs. I've talked about this a few times, but I've actually been seeing more badged up Luols over the past few days. Like, of course, you're going to get the odd person that's like, I got one Hoff badge on my Luol, let me put him for 90k. But you are going to find some people like, this guy's got an extra Hoff badge on Luol, and he's going for a little bit over market value. Not terrible. Not a terrible deal. Like, that's Hoff Blinders, too. I would pay an extra 9k for a Hoff Blinders Luol Deng. This one's a little bit more expensive. 17 Hoff badge Luol Deng. Probably bought this thing for 500k. Now, luckily, you will be lucky to get 100k for that card at this point. This is why I always recommend don't buy badged up versions unless you're like a high tier player. There's really no point. They lose value so fast. D-Rob's down in value quite a bit as well. Still over 100k because he's still quote unquote the best, or the second best center in the game, but he's down quite a bit also. Looking at some other guys that are down, pretty much all of these guys are down a little bit, but you're not getting them for buyout prices due to the names. Like, Kobe will be a buyout relatively soon, just not happening right now. Luka might, though. Yeah, Luka's a buyout. I mean, if you're a big Luka fan, go pick him up. Like, he's not the greatest card in the world. His jump shot's kind of meh. If you get it on very quick, I would say maybe, but hey, if you're a big fan, go pick him up. KD is a buyout. Once again, if you're a big KD fan, just go pick him up. Like, who cares at this point? I'm always a champion of play with who you want to play. You know what I mean? If you want to go play with someone, go pick him up, dude. It doesn't matter if people tell you he's trash. Like, if Mikan was a buyout, I would go pick up Mikan for sure. Donald's still expensive, but he's kind of fallen off a little bit too. You can get him really close to 100k. Terry's still up there. Like, don't sleep on Terry. Dolph is kind of down a little bit because I feel like people don't really care too much about Dolph and his super long face anymore. Bob Nedelicki's still up there, still like the best power forward in the game for sure. Kazi is a menace, by the way. Shout out to Cam. I played him yesterday, and Kazi was an unstoppable force, man. Granted, I'm not exactly the defensive stud that you think I am, but still. Kazi still got it, man. Other than that, Shaq would probably be the guy who took the biggest hit from Yao coming out, but that being said, with the new next-gen patch, how they reworked paint defense, someone like Shaq actually becomes a lot more important than you'd realize. Now, that being said, the kind of negative that he brings you in his ability to shoot is going to shine a little bit more, being that paint defense has been buffed considerably on next gen. On current gen, it's still basically the same, but something to think about for sure. Now, looking at the Eclipse set, I'm gonna go through some of these guys pretty fast. Like Devin Vassell, you can get him for like under 1,500. He's very mid. one of his Hoff badges is Midi Magician, so it just kind of makes sense at this point. 6'5", 220, good jump shot. I mean, he does everything moderately okay. I would just say there's like nothing very special about him. Like, there was no reason to give us Amethyst Devin Vassell when they were going to give us Wesley Person as well. I'm not going to say he's completely irrelevant or completely unnecessary, but it's just like there's not a lot to be excited about when in the same set at the same gem tier somebody comes out who's leaps and bounds better than that player. It's just unnecessary. They could have gave us like a, I don't know, like an Amethyst center or something. They could have done anything at this point. Like, I don't know, dude, just like an Amethyst Chet Holmgren. It doesn't really matter, right? Gary Payton II, the best budget point guard in the game, no question. Like, I don't consider Shai Gilgeous-Alexander like a budget point guard because he's like over 20K. And some of the other budget point guards I don't think are really that great. But Gary Payton II is nasty. Like, the defensive tendencies are elite. I'm still kind of unsure about foul tendency, by the way. If anybody has any information on that, please do jump in the comments below. Just because in prior 2Ks, like, having a 0 foul tendency was the way to go. Like, that meant that they were going to foul significantly less. Whereas in 99 made they were going to foul more. But I'm not sure if that means the same thing this year. The reason I bring that up is because I use Gary Payton a lot. And he tends to not foul very much. Like, from a CPU controlled perspective. So I'm wondering if they've reverted it back and just haven't said anything this year. I just don't know. I'm very open about when I don't know things about the game, and that's like one of the things I'm not 100% sure of. Now, 99 pass intercept, 99 on-ball steal with a 70 contest. Fantastic. The release is iffy. If you used Gary Payton earlier, you know it's the same release. Anchor and glove on Hoff. I mean, he's still going to get mashed by bigger point guards, but Gary Payton is sneaky good. Like, you might find out that he's a better fit for your team than some of the more expensive point guards in the game. Like, you really wouldn't be shocked to find that out. Wesley Person. I'll be honest, this sounds like an AI generated name and an AI generated player. Nothing about Wesley Person seems real. Shout out to the brother of Chuck Person, I guess, for getting a card. Hey, personally, I like when 2K takes random dudes like this and makes them gods. Like, I like it. I know some people have different feelings about it. I personally think it's cool. He's like 1800 MT, and without a doubt, he's the best card. I don't know. Gary Payton's really good for his position. Wesley is the best card that you can buy for under 2,000, right? I think Gary Payton may be slightly more valuable due to the position, but Wesley is straight cracked. Like, Wesley is good. The jump shot is nice. The Mikal Bridges release with the Oscar upper on quick. Ooh, nice. He has basic escape, though, which why they gave him that, I'm not really sure, because he's the only person who has that escape that isn't the center. So I just think they didn't want to make it Amethyst too OP. So he's kind of taking a hit on next gen for sure, but he's got Kawhi's crossover and like Dame's behind the back too. So like for your average player that isn't like an escape god, like his dribble moves are fine. That jump shot clears 96-3. Like Agent 3 and Limitless are his 2 Hoffs, but he comes standard with pretty much every badge that you would want him to have. I don't think he's really bad at all. Even from like a competitive aspect, like not having Challenger definitely hurts him, but I really don't think that there's any issue with Wesley Person. People will tell you you can't dribble with him or you can't put the ball on the floor with Wesley Person. I don't personally agree with that. I just feel like that's very comp mindset. I feel like your average person is going to ball out with Wesley Person for sure. Then we got Tyrese Maxey. I mean, he's like under 10K. If you're a big Sixers fan or you like Tyrese Maxey, for sure pick him up. He's okay. Like 6'2", 6'5", wingspan's a little small, but whatever. He's pretty buffed up in most stats. Like, he's a dunker, which is cool. Clamp breaker, quick first step. He's a rim runner. If you're on current gen, he'll probably be solid. He'll get some buckets for you for sure. Not the greatest defensively, but not horrible either. The jump shot is solid. Like, Tyrese Maxey is the epitome of mid, and I mean that in like a non-derogatory way. He's just very average at everything and solid. Roy Hibbert. I've seen people refer to him as the budget Yao stopper. I don't necessarily agree with this narrative personally. I don't think anyone can really stop Yao, let alone Roy Hibbert, but he does an okay job. If he had Brook Lopez base on quick instead of normal, I think I would suggest him a little bit more. I'm using him for the Mel Daniels challenges, and he's like, okay, he blocks a lot of shots. He's got a big body for sure. he might be worth a run if you're having trouble stopping some of the more elite centers in the game, for sure. Especially if you're on a budget, you can get him for like 7K. But I don't know. I would kind of... Roy Hibbert is a better version of Tyson Chandler with a worse jump shot. That's kind of my view on Roy Hibbert. So I don't know. However you feel about that, you know, try them out. I mean, if you want to splash it up, try some new ones, why not? Jalen Green. Jalen Green is just Jalen Green. Like, he's always the same. Every time we get Jalen Green, like, he's kind of the same card early game. Like, he plays like no defense and is an elite level offensive player. That's what you're getting here. I mean, his release on normal, solid. Trae Young dribble style, good moves. Like, everything's solid about Jalen Green, and he's like 20K. But there's just nothing exceptional about him. Then we got Lamar Odom. They changed his jump shot, which is just ridiculous. I'm going to be honest here. The Ousmane Dieng release isn't terrible, but at the same time, like, he had the CD Osman release, which was so good. They just could have put it on quick, and it would have been fine. They didn't need to change it. Anyways, Lamar Odom's like 30K. He's a 6'10", small forward, power forward, the epitome of a combo forward. The only thing you really need to give him for sure is like clutch shooter and guard up. He comes standard with everything else. I mean, he doesn't have range and stuff. Space creator is kind of important too, because he does move relatively well, but he plays good defense. He can move. Nothing really wrong with Lamar Odom. He's kind of gas, honestly. Kawhi. People hate Kawhi. I'm not sure if he's worth this price, being he can't play the shooting guard, but I personally don't have any negative sentiment towards Kawhi Leonard. They did hoe him on his defensive tendencies, though. And I think that's what sets someone like Cincy Powell ahead, because it's like they're the same size. Kawhi's got the better jump shot, yes, in my opinion. But Cincy Powell's like 30K and Kawhi's like 200K. So I don't know. I don't recommend picking up Kawhi personally. Okay. Ja Morant is Ja Morant. I mean, I still think someone like Don Ole is superior to Ja Morant, but that's really just personal preference. I don't know. However you feel about Ja Morant, that's how you're going to feel. The 85 shot contest tendency is nice. They gave him Hoff clamps too. Like, Ja Morant's fire. That release is so good. I really, really like it this year. And he moves. And he on current gen, he's dunking over everybody. It just depends what you're looking for. And then we got the big boy. Look, it doesn't even want to load Yao Ming. It doesn't even want to let me see how much he's going for. Yao Ming is a testament to how bad the MT problem has gotten in my team. Like, I have never seen a card that doesn't lock in for anything go for consistently this high. And granted, yes, like I talked about earlier, is one of the most broken cards, if not the most broken card in the game's history. But the fact that every single Yao Ming I've seen has been consistently without badges going for over 2 million MT is insanity. It is crazy. Like, even Rashard Lewis at his peak, locking in for GOAT Kareem, who at that point was the most broken card we've ever seen, was not consistently going for this amount of MT. Rashard Lewis had teetered out on like day 2 to go for like 1.4 to 1.5, which is still a lot, but 2 million consistently for a base non-lock-in card is wild. Granted, Yao Ming is cracked to the absolute maximum. Now, I've heard a lot of people say they're going to have to put out Yao stoppers soon. To that I say no. The reason I say that is because 2K is going to let Yao Ming be the premier card in my team for a little bit. Why? Super packs, that's why. Oh yeah, we get new super packs every Tuesday. You think they're not going to milk the opportunity to sell more super packs for the chance at pulling Yao Ming? Oh, you're tripping. They're not going to release like a Manute Bol next week. No way. That being said, a Giannis could be on the way. That's kind of something that I've accepted recently. Yao Ming, I don't need to talk too much about this card. He's the most broken card in the game. It's ridiculous. His release isn't very good, but it is on quick, so you can kind of get it off. And who's contesting this 7'6" man? Not very many people. The most ridiculous part of Yao Ming is the fact that he has 80 speed for no reason whatsoever. He did not have to go this fast. They didn't have to do this. They did this to just spite us, I feel. I feel like that's the only reason they would do this. It's debilitating. Yao Ming, there's a reason he's going for 2 million consistently. I mean, this one's got 33 minutes left and is at 1.9. This one is almost at 2 million with 39 minutes left. Not a single upgrade on the card. Nothing. Not even a shoe. because you don't need to put anything on Yao Ming, because Yao Ming's going for 2 million MT with adding nothing. Crazy, man. Crazy stuff. Crazy world we live in. You would think that Kareem would go down, but not really, because Tim Thomas is still goated. Like, you know what I mean? Tim Thomas is still super good. My guess would be before we see like a compatriot to Yao, we'll probably see someone who's in the vein of Tim Thomas relatively soon. I wouldn't be shocked to see that this week. So maybe save up your MT. The other thing I want to talk about, MT related, is these cards. Now, we get the Tuesday Evos every single week. Now, I personally think, and I could maybe be wrong about this, I personally think that we're going to see Evos for some of these guys. Like, Mikal Bridges would make a whole lot of sense, right? I personally, if it's not this week, it'll be next week when we see like a defensive themed super pack, and we'll see Evos for someone like a Fernando Martin or a Mikal Bridges would probably be the most likely, right? So hold on to these cards if you have them, because we could easily see, like Mikal Bridges was really good when he came out. We could see with an Evo, like an explosion in pricing guys like Jerry Sloan or even potentially like JoJo White. So maybe hold on to these guys, and the same goes for every single one of these cards. I think the only ones that probably wouldn't go up that much would be like Gallinari. But if you have any of the high tier cards for like Kuzma or Mikal Bridges, you could see a lot of MT entering your life relatively soon if you have those cards not locked in. There's also Season 3 guys and Season 1 guys that could get an upgrade of some sort as well. Chris Mullin, it's possible. It's also possible for like maybe Jokic. I think Jokic will probably get a new card relatively soon though. I mean, it's the last Jokic we got, and that's crazy. D'Angelo Russell, Pascal Siakam, Granger, like all these guys could get Evos too. Even Season 3 guys, like maybe Darius Miles, that would be sick if they did that, but they would have to give him a new jump shot. But Dantley or Bernard King could get one. These guys have already gotten Evos. I don't know if they would double up the Evos, but I guess we could see. But regardless, it has been your friend Sheep Ludes. Hey, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you think Yao is going to get someone that rivals him relatively soon? Or do you think it's kind of like, no, Yao's going to be top for a minute, and they probably are going to milk it for super packs from this point forward? I don't know. That's just what I think anyway. It's so unnecessary when they do things like this, like drop this Yao Ming to just break the game for no reason. Like, Yao Ming is a pay-to-win gameplay change, 100%. There's no shot you have a better chance, or there's no shot that you don't have a better chance of winning the game when you have Yao Ming. He's that broken, right? So many unnecessary things in this world.